guys, how are we doing? It's been a while since I've come on here and just chatted, so I'm going to have my morning coffee with you. We're going to talk about the January blues. A load of you were asking questions about how I'm finding therapy at the minute, so I thought, as YouTube is my channel of chit-chatting, I thought we would have a little chit-chat. So, shall we start with January blues? It all sort of ties into one another, to be fair. I get a lot of you guys coming to me for, I want to say like big sister advice. I get a lot of that on the BTC. Obviously my female empowerment page, if you're new here, I have a female empowerment page called the Big Titty Committee, the BTC for short. And we do a lot of female empowerment stuff over there. We talk a lot about emotions and internal battles. So I do a lot of it over there. But recently on my TikTok, I had a girl ask me how to beat the January blues. And my best way of saying this was I started therapy 3 months ago now, and I needed to do that for personal reasons. I'll get onto that after this. But the best way to say for me, I said to her, I'm feeling really not down in the dumps, but a bit blue, January blues. And I don't know why. I'm having overthinking thoughts. I'm having weird dreams at the minute where, like, you know how you probably haven't thought about someone for a little bit and then suddenly you have a dream about a situation or a scenario. I had one last night as well, so it's just like throwing me for a loop today. And it puts you back into that headspace that you were in. Really weird. So I've just been feeling blue. And she said, the thing is, everyone in January is working to be the best version of themselves. They're striving to be motivated. They're wanting to be this ball of energy in January. But none of us listen to Mother Nature. Like, we really should listen to Mother Nature more. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, Mother Nature in January and February, even in the beginning of March. There's a monk jack in the garden. We've called the monk jack M&M, or Slim for short, because every morning she's back again. Anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, so she said everything, the plants, the trees, the ground, your environment, everything is sleeping, the animals, everything is sleeping, hibernating, getting its stocks in to then spring and be the best version of itself. In the spring, in the summer, that's when flowers bloom and they use all of that nutrients that they've been storing, and that's when they become the best version of ourselves. And that's when, like, we get vitamin D, when we get good vibes, when we get feeling those happy feelings. So she's like, why are we forcing ourselves to be the best version of ourselves in January and February when our environment is not going to help us do that? Yes, of course, we have a day when it's sunny. The sun is never here in England. And so we feel like we've got vitamin D on our skin and we're feeling positive and we're feeling like we want to do all of this. At the minute, all I want to do is exercise. But I don't want to work. I don't want to be doing all of the other stuff that comes with exercising, to be honest. I exercise mainly for mental health. So when I'm exercising a lot, it usually means I'm having a bit of a moment up here. But I need to just make more of a consistent effort at doing it so I don't let it go to my head. But I really loved that analogy where she was like, we're striving to be happy and all of these amazing best versions of ourselves when the environment is not helping us do that. So have the chill weekends in January, have the long baths, have the long walks, eat the good food, so that, I've got the hiccups, so that when March, April, May comes and we have the beautiful weather and the environment that is wanting us to be the best version of ourselves, then we can really thrive in that environment. So I really like that. So that's what I think about the January blues. Should we go on to why I started therapy and why I think you should too? Hang on. So we're going to get deep here. So if you don't want to get deep, go on to something else, okay? It's a little insight into my life, which I feel like I made a promise to myself that on YouTube in 2025, I would be more open and more honest so you guys can get to know me more. Because we've been doing that for years, but I feel like I shared a lot probably 2.5, maybe 3 years ago when I was going through a bit of a rough spot. I shared quite a lot on the BTC with the girls, and it really made me feel connected to my audience. And since then I've been quite scared to, because I think we all put on this hysteria. I don't think hysteria is the right word. I don't know. This outer wall that everything's happy and amazing. And it has been so happy in my life. I got a house, I got engaged, I released a Sunday Times best-selling cookbook. Like, all of these things, I should be really happy. And I was for so long, probably 15 months. I sort of buried my head in this happy bubble, and then you sort of come back down to reality. And my reality is amazing. I'm not complaining at all, but my head sometimes likes to sabotage me. So probably 2.5, 3 years ago, I was coming out of a relationship. Some of you may have seen that if you were there for that point in time. And I was really struggling with my mental health. It didn't help that that relationship, his friend was saying to him, get rid of her because of her bad mental health. So I wasn't feeling hugely supported in that relationship. So I was struggling to know, I sort of thought there was something really, really wrong with me, without realizing that I have now done the work. And, well, I haven't done all of the work, but I've definitely tried to commit to understanding why those emotions and why people keep telling me I am overly emotional and I feel things too strongly. And like my mum and my sister, when they have arguments, they'll be like, oh, you're too emotional, you're too emotional. If I cry in front of you, I care so deeply about that relationship. And that comes back from my parents' divorce, and feeling slightly abandoned. And my mum did the most amazing job. I don't want, like, it's not really about her at all. But feeling like at 12 years old, I had to become an adult very quickly. I'm 25 now. I had to grow up very quickly, and I think that's probably why I'm where I am in life today, because my focus was work, but I always wanted to share my life with somebody. I love love. I love love. And so I'm very lucky that I met Jake at the time when I did, and he was someone that was very encouraging of, he found the fact that I was so emotional quite a positive about me. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I will tell you exactly how I feel. It's probably a reason why I struggle to let relationships go. So if you're in my life, I really friggin' love you. The postman, I think. It's a load of doors banging. If you're in my life, I really love you. And I really struggle to let relationships go. So unless I have done absolutely everything, unless I have tried to let you know how I feel, to be the positive, let you know that you've upset me, try and mend things. I go through all of those stages when I let a relationship go. And if that person still has to go, like if I still feel like I've tried everything and I'm still not happy in this relationship, whether that's exes, friendships, family, if I've done all of that and you're now not in my life, I feel like mentally I can't go back there, because I just can't do that in relationships. I feel all of these emotions so deeply that I will let you know them all. And then if there is no way to build that relationship up, it's gone. But I will try my hardest before it goes, if that makes any sense. So I went to therapy and I was like, why am I feeling such strong emotions? Like, I can't let things go. I reminisce. I'm there like, have I made the right decision by cutting that person out of my life? Because I miss people quite a lot, and I think that probably, we've spoken about it, my dad moved to America, so I missed him quite a lot, so I never really had male figures in my life, all of that. And so Jake was quite a strong pillar in my life, because I was not at all looking for a relationship when I met Jake. I'd just come out of what I thought would be my last relationship. I was like, I'm done. That hurt. I didn't enjoy that. That really hurt. I didn't want to do it again. And then I met Jake, and we were friends for a while before. Like, I'd never processed how much we had in common until he was in a place where he was like, what is going on in this house? Until he was in a place where he was like, I quite like this girl. And that happened quite quickly for us, which was complete shock to me. I was not expecting it. I was like, I'm gonna be single for the rest of the year. So Jake was a really strong pillar in the way that I managed to talk about my emotions. I've had so many conversations with people who say you are overly emotional, and I went to therapy and she's like, what do you mean overly emotional? And I was like, no, you don't understand. Like, if someone upsets me, I feel it so deeply. I'm so upset. I'm not angry. I very rarely tell people off. I try and get my point across as to why they've hurt me. And then the more I do that, the more I'm like, ow, this really hurts. And so I get very cryy very quickly. It's why if anyone like tells me off in school, I was such a teacher's pet. If anyone told me off, or if I never got a red mark, I never got a detention, like the thought of being told off scares me. So if I think I've done something wrong, that is the worst thing ever. If I think I've upset someone, oh my God, I will be so upset. I will be crying until I can make it better. And I was like, why do I feel like if I've hurt someone, I feel that more than I feel like they're hurt? And she said, because you're probably overcompensating for the thought that, oh my God, I've pushed them away so much that they're never going to come back. And that's a relationship that you really like. But also, we as people are not responsible for another adult's emotions. So if I said to you, this action really hurt me and you've really upset me with the way that you handled that, and then they get cross at me for my emotion, that's not my fault. And that took me so long to understand, because I've had relationships before with friends and past where I've been like, that upset me, what you did upset me, and I've doubled back and been like, it's okay, like, look, I was just trying to explain how I was feeling, it's not that big of a deal, when they've then got cross because I'm upset. And so you have to realise, like, no, if you're hurt by that emotion, you're hurt by what they did. You don't have to make it this huge drama, but you can say, look, that action really hurt me. It's okay, I'll get over it, but I need to let you know that hurt me. And if they're going to get cross at you, or if their reaction isn't positive and saying, shit, I'm so sorry, I hadn't thought about it from your perspective, I understand that your feelings were hurt, that was not my intention. If they can't come to you with that, then that's on them. Like, if they're getting cross, that's on them. So if I felt, because then I'd feel like I'd done something wrong, I feel like I'm waffling. Because I feel like people are like, why? People are saying I can relate to you in this way on the BTC, because I had a breakdown on there last week. And so I'm basically saying that if you are someone that is really emotional, try really hard to practice boundaries. And that's what I've been doing recently, where if someone's hurt me, I distance myself until I'm ready to have that conversation. And being able to know that someone's actions, that hurt me, I don't have to fly off the handle by any shape or means. That's not the adult or mature thing to do. I also don't have to be so upset and show them I'm so upset. I can be quiet in my upset, let them know that bothered me, that really hurt me. And their reaction is sort of an indication of how they should be showing up in your life. If they get cross, if they get angry with you for you feeling how you feel about something that's happened, reevaluate that. If they're going to come to you and say, I'm so sorry, then that's a good relationship and you don't need to get overly emotional or invested. These are all things that I've learned, but these are things why I'm going to therapy, because I just want to figure out why I cry all the time. So yeah, that's basically why I'm in therapy. A load of you are asking. And a load of you are asking how I found my therapist, because you're wanting to start. And I recommend everyone having a little, even if it's once every month or something like that, just to understand your way of thinking. I think it's so good, because it's someone who's completely they're not going to tell, like, whatever you say to them, no one will know. Like, they're never going to tell anyone anything. You can rant, you can vent, you can say, oh, why am I feeling like this today? Why am I suddenly thinking of this? Why am I da-da-da-da-da? And no one's going to know. No one's going to know. It's like a secret friend. It's great. So my friend Aurelia is like doing a lot of life coaching and therapy and all of that. She's, as in, that's what she's training to be. She's incredible. She's really helped me. She actually sat me down probably 3 years ago as she thought I needed to get in some hours or something, practice. And she sat me down, she sat a friend of mine down together and just sort of spoke about our relationship. And I, at that point, was like, maybe I do need to do therapy because this is something that I am enjoying doing, I'm enjoying talking about, and I'm not burdening the people in my life with my over rants and being overly emotional. And I find it really helpful for the person that I was having that. There's a robin in the chicken run. The person that I was having that chat with Aurelia with, and I found it really helpful for our relationship, and I really enjoyed that vulnerability that you feel with that person. So Aurelia basically said to me, because I went to her and I was like, look, I'm crying all the time. I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm not managing my emotions in the way that I should, because I feel like now I've got my house, I've got my husband to be, I've got a great career. I should be so happy and successful in what I'm doing, and I feel like now that it's sort of stopped and I've got to a point where I said to myself, you can stop and breathe now. My emotions are sort of all, I'm thinking about everything, you know, the self-sabotage thing. She said, right, there is a website, I've completely forgotten what it's called, I will link it below, where you can go and find a therapist in your area. And you sort of put in the requirements that you're looking for. So do you want to do it in Zoom? Do you want to do it in person? What kind of therapist are you looking for? Are you looking for like coaching? Are you looking for literal therapy? Are you looking for stuff that helps with childhood trauma? All of that sort of stuff. You put in these requirements and they find you the best therapist. And that's how I did it. And I found my therapist through that, who actually ideally is like 10-minute drive from me, which was a win. And so now I'm doing therapy once a week, which is great for me. And I'm finding it really helpful because I'm quite lucky that I've sort of clicked with my therapist from the get-go. I did it when I was younger, when my parents got divorced and my mum put my sister and I into therapy, and I just did not get on with it. I think when you're young, you don't understand like how talking about your emotions and talking about how you probably have anxiety, but you're too young to probably clock what anxiety is. You just know that it doesn't feel good. And I didn't like it. I didn't want to talk to a stranger. I wanted to talk to my mum and dad. I wanted that. So I never got on with it and we sort of left it. So I wanted to try again, and I wanted to do it for me. Like, I want to, in 2 years when Jake and I get married, I want to know that I am mentally the best version of myself and that I can show up in a marriage, I can start a family, I can do all of these things knowing that I'm really strong in here. So yeah, I wanted to basically, it was a self-growth thing, and I wanted to do that for myself. So that was a rant, and not a rant, that was just a chat. I feel like it's easy for me to chat to an audience of people that I don't know. So yeah, I'm going to post this one up. We will have another one soon if you want, but I just wanted to share because I've been getting so many questions on the BTC about how to find a therapist, why I did it, what my decisions were in choosing therapy, how to beat the January blues, is the January blues affecting my mental health, all of this stuff. I've been really honest over the years with where I've been mentally, trying to communicate that to you guys, and I thought it's only fair that now everything's a bit settled and I'm starting this channel again properly, that we can have these discussions quite openly and honestly, because if it just helps one person who goes, yeah, actually, maybe I should go and talk to somebody. Even if it helps one person, great. I think you all should. Like, invest in yourself. That's what I'm trying to do. Invest in myself, make myself feel good in my head, because then I feel good everywhere else. So yeah, there we go. I hope this has helped someone. If it hasn't, you don't have to come back. If it did, hit that subscribe, give me a follow over on my other channels, and I will see you soon. Have a lovely rest of your week. Bye.